So if you've been looking for a little more high-end VHS-C camcorder, then I might have something perfect for you. This here is the Panasonic PV-L759. This camera is from 1999 and originally cost $900. So it was a pretty high-end VHS-C camcorder for back in the day. Now, I've seen other people make videos on these and they say that it's one of the best VHS-C camcorders you can get. And I didn't really get the hype behind it until I got this one. And I do gotta say that this thing is actually really cool and really fun to film with. So we're gonna go over the specs, the notable features, some pros and cons. We'll look at the test footage, and then you guys can let me know what you think of the Panasonic PV-L759. A very random number. This camera came with a few different accessories. You can obviously see it came with this wide-angle fisheye lens. It's one of those ones you see on like Amazon and stuff, and it has the macro attachment to it. So you can unscrew that and then just put this on there. And if you use the macro attachment, it kind of just turns it into like a wide angle, but if you take it off and just have it as it is, it kind of makes it more like a fisheye. And I gotta say that it's actually pretty wide. It's a 0.38x, so it's not just a 0.3. So I don't know if it's as wide as like the Opticas or like the Velege fisheyes, but I think it works pretty good. It did come with a bag when I got it. Nice little carrying bag here. Came with a charger. I believe it came with a tape or two. I've actually been using those to record some stuff. Came with a lanyard, lens cover for the fisheye, and I think that's about it. Oh, some video cables. And yes, this will be available on my eBay store. So if you want it, you can snag it. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that it came with. So I wanna say that whoever had this camera at one point was probably trying to film skateboarding, because that's the only reason why I could see it has this fisheye lens on the front. Maybe back in the day, maybe recently, I don't know. But I don't think that this is like any specific brand of fisheye. It just says made in Japan, which usually when they say made in Japan, they're an older lens, because I feel like all lenses nowadays are made in China. So we'll go over the specs real quick. And all of these specs I found on the website called videomakers.com. So again, this camera does record to VHS-C tapes or compact VHS. It's VHS, but in mini form. The lens threads on the front are a 49mm. So if you want to run a fisheye, this fisheye is actually adapted, so it's a 49 to a 46mm. But I recommend if you want to run a fisheye on this, you get a 43mm, because I've used some other Panasonic cameras like this, and if you get a 52mm or higher, the lens is bigger around. And if you get a 43 or a 37, it's a smaller fisheye like this, and it'll actually fit a lot easier on the front, because it's kind of hard to tell. The body of the camera right here actually sticks out a little bit more than the lens. So when you put the lens on the front, the fisheye lens, it doesn't go on if it's the bigger one, because the body of the lens actually hits the body of the camera. So I definitely recommend getting one of the smaller ones, like a 43mm. It does have a 26x optical zoom, which is pretty hefty in my opinion. I would say 20 and above, or even 15 and above, is actually a pretty decent zoom. But you do get a 300x digital zoom. The lens on the front, well, not this lens, but the lens itself is a f1.6 aperture lens, and it actually has a, oh, that thing is on there. No, we'll leave it. And that's actually pretty good for getting, you know, your nice fuzzy backgrounds and stuff. So the lower the aperture, the easier it is to get a fuzzy background. You gotta zoom in quite a bit to get it to do that. And that's kind of the same deal with like these kinds of cameras as well. Like on here I have I think it's a 10 to an 18mm, and usually with wide angle lenses, the background really isn't that fuzzy, but the more you get zoomed in, like if I put like a 50mm on this, you'll get a nice fuzzy background. But same thing with this. It does have a single CCD sensor, and it creates 480,000 pixels, so just under half a megapixel. Now this is probably my favorite part of this camera. It does feature a whopping 4-inch LCD screen. Now, even like Panasonic's like professional cameras, like the Panasonic DVX100 or the HVX200, the DVC30, you know, those are like the more professional. I mean, they recorded the mini DV tapes, a little bit newer than these, but still, like, I usually complain about the image quality on these older screens like this, especially ones that come on like high 8 cameras or VHS-C cameras, but with this thing being as big as it is, it actually works really good, and you can actually see like what you're manually focusing on really good. So this actually might be the first camcorder I've ever seen to have a 4-inch LCD screen. So probably one of the coolest things about this camera. On the bottom, you do get manual focus, so you can have it in manual or auto focus. With that little wheel right there, you push it in like a button to turn it on and push it in again to turn it off, and then you can adjust it with the wheel left and right. It has a maximum shutter speed of 1 in 10,000, so the shutter speed goes pretty high on it. Now this camera isn't fully manual. The exposure is auto and the white balance is auto, so you can't actually adjust any of that manually. It's all auto. Some other features that it has motion security mode. So I'm not really exactly sure what that means. Maybe it'll, because there was another camcorder by Panasonic I reviewed a year or two ago, and it was like motion detection recording. So if you like set that up and then like walked in front of the camera would recognize the motion and it would start recording. So I'm kind of wondering if that's the same thing, because I believe that camera, it was the PV-D209, I believe. So that one was also from 1999, so this one's probably a more higher end model. So yeah, I'm guessing that's probably the same thing. This can also do time lapse, so that's pretty cool that a VHS camera can do time lapse. I haven't tried it out. You can actually take a 640 by 480 digital still, so you can take pictures onto it, and that's onto the tape, not like an SD card or anything like that. And it has an intelligent titler. So I assumed you can probably just make your own titles and stuff like that. There's probably preset ones as well. It doesn't have like all of the specs on the website here, but it does have some things here. You do got digital image stabilization, so it's not optical, but at least it's something. And then it says it has 2 megabits of removable memory. And on the top of the camera, and even when I turn the camera on, it says that there's no CF card inserted. So I'm wondering, I wonder if you can record to CF cards or if you can take pictures of CF cards. I'm not sure. I haven't found a like slot or anything for a CF card to go into, like even where the tape compartment is. So I'm not exactly sure what that means, but you can select different things. Like up here, you can select like the digital select. You can go to digital wipe or like the image stabilization. You have like a switch that goes between record photo and play. And I think that's got to be the CF card, because on the back, you know, where your power switch is, you can switch it to VCR mode or playback mode. So I assume you can record to it. I don't know. If somebody knows, like let me know, because I have not found anywhere to insert like a CF card or anything like that. But just like a couple pros and cons. So we'll start off with the pros. It does have an external 3.5mm microphone jack up here, but unfortunately, once again, it doesn't have a cold shoe, so you can't mount it anywhere unless you use a filming handle or, you know, a wired microphone or something like that. And it also has a headphone jack down here along with your AV in. I believe they're both 3.5mm jacks as well. And then there's a little plug-in on the back. I don't recognize it, but it says to PC, and that's right here. I thought it might have been like Firewire or something like that, but it definitely looks a little different. It does have some manual controls. And then I guess a few cons. It does have a black and white viewfinder. I don't really care for black and white viewfinders, but it is what it is. I mean, at least you get a 4-inch LCD screen, so the only time I'd be really using a viewfinder is if I'm outside when it's really bright. And then it does suck because like VHS-C camcorders, they don't really record for very long. Like this thing you only get about 20 minutes on a tape unless you put it in long play. But then if you put it in the long play, you get less video quality. So for anybody that doesn't know, you have SP and LP. SP stands for short play. You get less time on a tape, but better video quality. And long play, you get more time on a tape, but less video quality. And that's about it for the specs and my gripes and my pros and cons about it. I'll go over some of the features that I didn't really talk about in the specs, so I'll go over some of the notable ones. Obviously, you've probably been looking up here. It does have a little halogen bulb nightlight here. These are never really that bright, but it still works. I think I've only found one camera where it didn't actually work, and I don't even think it had a bulb in it. It is stereo audio, so that's nice. The microphone is up here. I don't find the video or the audio quality to be very good, but at least it's stereo. You got lots of buttons up here, like your backlight. You got your image stabilization, digital zoom, and like some digital effects and stuff like that. It does have a menu. It's very small. There's just a few other like manual functions and stuff like that in there. That's how you get into the like titler and stuff like that. You can set up like the date and time if you have the little nickel sized batteries to go in there. Screen brightness, there's a little wheel right there on the side. It's kind of hard to fine tune that. It's either too dark or too bright, so it's hard to get it right where you want it. And then it just depends on like the position of the screen that you're looking at. Like if it's more flat, it'll be more dark, and if it's more, you're looking kind of more down at it, it'll be more bright, or vice versa, however that works. Giant playback speaker there, which is actually kind of cool because when you're playing it back, the zoom rocker is your volume up and down. So zooming in is turning the volume up, and zooming out is turning the volume down. So really easy to remember and adjust that. Your playback functions are actually on the bottom of the viewfinder here. So when you're watching playback, you can fold it up and use that, and then you can, do that. The viewfinder doesn't slide in and out or anything. It just rotates, and it rotates 180 degrees. With the zoom rocker, going back to that, it does have a variable zoom on it. I don't know how many like different speeds it has, but it doesn't have like one speed in, one speed out, like a lot of older like VHS and VHS-C camcorders have. So that's nice. One cool thing I actually forgot to mention, on the record button here, right in the center, you can actually see there's a little dot there. And when you're recording, a little tally lamp pops up, and it'll be red. So a little light pops on in the center of it to see that you're recording. And then obviously on the front, right below the light, you actually have a tally lamp as well. But I mean, a lot of cameras have that, but I just thought it was really cool that it had a tally lamp on the record button. Never seen that before. And that is just some of the notable features that I didn't mention before. So there you have it. That is the Panasonic PV-L759 from 1999. I'll go ahead and show you some clips. I actually just posted a fingerboard video. I'll just throw that in here. It's all indoor, and I didn't record anything outside, but yeah, let me know what you think of this camcorder. And I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, but if you're needing anything for your VHS-C camcorder, specifically this one, a lot of other ones are pretty much the exact same. I will have batteries, tapes, chargers, recording devices, fisheye lenses, and a bunch of other accessories to make these more user-friendly and bring your camera back to life. If you want to buy this camera, it will be on my eBay store eventually, along with a bunch of other cameras and accessories, and those are great ways that you can support the channel. So with that being said, let's check out the test footage, and I'll see you in the next video.